Okay guys, welcome back to the Basswood carving channel. Today we got a simple Santa ornament for you. It's a pretty easy carve. We'll go slow, get through it, and I've already got my piece all marked out, and we'll show you what all is going to entail in getting this thing carved. But it's a pretty cool little ornament. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put some marks on here. Alright, our first mark is going to be at, first pick the corner that you want to use for the face. Pick your best corner, look at your grain, see how it's going, see which one is going to be your best corner. I chose this side here because it's got some long grain here and it should make it pretty easy to carve the little details. Okay, so the first mark we're going to put is at 1 inch, and I'll have a pattern on the basswoodcarving.com channel website, I'm sorry, but if you want to go there, you'll be able to download a pattern for this, and I'll put the measurements on there for you. So the first mark we're going to put is going to be at 1 inch. So we got a mark at 1 inch, and we're going to go down 1/2 inch, and we're going to put a mark at 1.5 inches. Okay, so it's going to be 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inch, put a mark, and then come all the way down here to 3 1/8 and put a mark. So that'll be your marks for your front side. Of course, this is the nose, and this is going to be the top of our trim on our Santa hat, the fuzzy trim. All right, so go to your left corner over here, and you're going to put a mark at 1.5 inches and 2 inches. All right, and then go back to the other side on the right side. Put a mark at 1.5 inches and 2 inches. All right, and then on the very back, you're going to put a mark at 2 inches and then a mark at 2.5 inches. All right, now this is pretty simple, that you can use this design for a lot of different types of Santas. It's a pretty common little mark, a little similar to the Bob's Simple Santa, but this one's going to be pretty much like a hanging ornament. All right, with no hands, no arms, just a little cape on the back. All right, okay, so you got that on there. Go ahead and connect your lines. So you got a 1/2 inch fuzzy trim all the way around the hat. All right, and then what you're going to do is come down to that 3 1/8 mark, and then you're going to take and draw you a little curved line, which is going to represent the beard. Draw that little curved line from the 3 1/8 mark all the way up to the tip of the bottom of the hat trim right there. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much it for drawing it out for now, and we'll draw a few more lines on there once we get going. So strop your knife. If you haven't stropped your knife already, strop your knife, and let's start to work on the top of the hat. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a stop cut in at the very corner. I don't know why my cameras are quitting today. Having a hard time keeping them all running. All right, so put a cut up here at the top, a stop cut, and then what you're going to do is, first thing you're going to do, let's go ahead and take from the nose, from the tip of the nose all the way back. Let's just take that back. All right, let's take that corner off right there, because we're going to end up rounding this thing anyway. So go ahead and take and put you a cut from there back. All right, and then let's go ahead and do that all the way around. So go from the bottom of your trim, take a cut back. All right, same thing on the other side, bottom of the trim of the hat, take that back, because we're going to round this off anyway. So this right away kind of gets us to where it gets that hard edge off. And you know me, I always like to take off the edges to keep it comfortable in my hand, but for right now, don't worry about that. We'll get down to that bottom in a minute. But go ahead and shape that back towards the top. All right, on the back side, all right, we're gonna leave that little ball on there. So what we want to do is we're gonna come in down about 3/8. I should have put that mark on there. We're gonna come down about 3/8 of an inch. Actually, let's go 5/8 of an inch. And like I said, these patterns, this design, you can pretty much, you can do a lot of different things with it. So um, the measurements really are kind of just a starting point. So we're going to put a stop cut in right there at the bottom, and that's going to be where our ball, little fuzzy ball at the top of the hat is going to be. All right, so that's why we don't want to take that off yet in the back. All right, now we can go from here up to there. So if you want to go back here to the bottom of the hat trim and take a sliver off right there, go ahead and do that. All right, so that's what we got. All right, okay, so let's work on the hat. Let's go back in here and let's reconnect these lines. This time we can have a little curve to it. Same thing here. Back here, a little bit of a curve to connect those lines. And then right here down. All right, so just reconnecting the hat. All right, so we're going to take and make a stop cut on the flat sides. Make a stop cut and cut down towards the fuzz of our hat. Okay, we're going to do that all the way around. And yeah, like I said, with this design, you can do a lot of different things to it. And we'll add some few different little things than what we got on our previous one that I carved out earlier. So just go on around, make your stop cuts for the top of your hat trim. And we're just going to lay out that hat. Okay, same thing over here on these sides. Stop cut. And you're coming down because you want to leave that trim a little higher. So we're going to roll that down here in a minute. Okay? Right there. All right, now at the very top, we're going to take this back some right here. All right, so that's what we got so far. We want to get that, start rounding that back. So go ahead and take those hard edges off. Start shaping up your hat. And the piece I was using, I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the beginning, is the piece I'm using on here is 1 inch by 1 inch by 5. I just remembered I probably didn't say that. All right, just going to roll that back. Start rounding that into that back tip corner back there. towards that back fuzzy ball. Just using push cuts. The dogs have been on one today, so you might hear them in the background. We had a cat out there earlier, and they got their eye out for it. Let's take this down a little deeper. I'm going to get all that tip off of there. Okay, we can go ahead and roll this up in there. Okay, so there's what we got so far. Alright, so if you look at this, we're going to cut this in a little bit on the sides right here, and we're going to start rounding this fuzzy ball in a little bit. So basically, we're going to come around this edge like so, and round that down. Okay. Now we're going to take and just cut a little bit of a stop cut, roll that up to the top right there, but we're not going all the way. create a little bit of a definition between that ball and the top of the hat. Just kind of undercutting and cutting up. Okay, now we're going to connect these two. So I come around to there, both sides, here to here. And this time I'm going to cut up into that stop cut. Alright, so there's our fuzzy ball. I'm just going to take those hard little edges off right there. Don't worry if you got to go back and cut that out a little more. That's okay. Okay, we'll stay with that for the time being. Once we come back to put our details on, we'll be able to shake that up just a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to create a little bit more depth right here because we want to roll the top of that trim over. Alright, okay, let's go. Now we're going to go down to the bottom of the hat. And we're just going to make a stop cut down to there. And this time we're going to cut up into it. So follow that line that you drew in there. Just want to get that hat laid in there a little bit. Okay, I'm going to come up just a little bit. just getting this roughed in as usual, guys. We're just roughing this in, and then we'll come back and shape and clean everything up. So there we go. Alright, same thing on the back side and the sides, around to the back. Stop cut to the bottom. Other side. And the back. Okay, we're getting there. Alright, so next thing we want to do is we're going to shape the underside of our beard right here. Okay, so take your knife. Actually, let's go ahead and cut in our nose. Just a stop cut for our nose. Alright, come around, follow our beard. Let's use our V tool on this one, just so you guys can see. A lot of times when you're doing curves, if you want to use your V tool, you know, it kind of helps out. Now I'm going to stay on the outside of my line. Sometimes you can follow your lines a little easier with your V tool. Okay, same thing. Stay just outside of my line. Okay, because that line is where I'm going to roll that under, kind of make it look tucked up under there. Okay, so let's take our knife now, come in with the stop cut. Follow that V. Alright. And then take that out underneath. same thing on the other side, just a little stop cut. Take that little chip out of there. Okay. Now we can take off our hard edge a little bit. And that's why we left it on, so we could keep this edge a little bit for this beard. Okay, so on the back we've got a little bit of the robe. It's actually like his cape. Okay, so on this one I just did it straight across, but for this one we're going to make it a little different. We're going to come down and make it a little bit of a better shape. And you can make it whatever you want, however you want. You just kind of want to even it up a little bit so it looks the same on both sides. Just pencil it in. Very simple. This one needs to be a little right there. Okay. Alright, so take your V tool again. Follow that line in you just made. Alright. Now we can take all this down and round it off. Alright, so go ahead and round off the bottom. And let's see, on this particular one, let's do let's see, let's roll this tip, roll this front back this way. And then we'll just kind of roll into that, round it up. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and round this tip off down here. just to get that bottom hard edge off. Alright, so let's roll this back a little bit more here. Just now we're just wanting to take off that squareness. This is a super simple. And after you get the basics done, you can kind of add details, some extra details if you want. Really something simple to play with. Stop cut up into the cape, so you get a little more three-dimensional look on the back. Now you could make that a cape, or you could actually texture it and make it look like hair. Make it look like some hair coming out of there. Okay, so that's what we got so far. And we'll come back in and finish up the rounding. Alright, now let's put a little stop cut right down the side of the cape and the beard so we don't lose the cape. And it's going to chip off right there, so I have to try get it flat. Take this little corner off right here. Okay, we're going to roll this a little bit so we can get the flat look off of it. All right. Okay. All right, so for the nose, we're going to go from the brim of the hat down to the tip of our stop cut. Okay. And we're going to make a little stop cut right there, angling the blade out. Okay. Same thing on this side. Tilt my blade away from the nose, so I want to get that rounded look. I don't want to get cut up under, because then you end up having to make your nose too small trying to clean it up. So I'll make that little stop cut right there. Just enough to separate the nose for now. Alright, now we're going to make a little triangle cut up here by the nose. So we go down there, deep, deep, and cut up. Okay, same thing over here. Triangle cut, deep, deep, in. Okay, and we'll come back and clean all this up. Alright, so there's what we got for the nose so far. Alright, let's put the bottom of his mustache in there. So we're going to come down, like if you can see right here, we're just going to come down from the tip of the nose, and we're going to make a little basically like an upside down M. Okay. Before we do that, let's go ahead and take this corner off right here. Alright, so we're going to come from under the nose, come down with a line, and then same thing on this side. Just try to get them the same. And you're always going to end up drawing a few lines to try to get everything looking the same. Just remember which one's your good one. Alright, now we're going to take and start over here. Let's see, just make sure we're kind of in the same spots up here. We're going to take this face back just a little bit, this cheek. Not too much, because we want to make his cheeks in there, so we don't want to cut too much away. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take our knife and we're going to follow that line. Okay. So Make sure you get your right one. Okay. Now right where they join together, once you go ahead and make that little triangle cut again, right where his mouth is. Like so. Alright. Now I'm going to come back because I don't want to cut this way out because that'll make it look funny. It won't make it look like it's raised. So I want to come in this way. Let me do it like this so you can see what I'm talking about. I want to come up with that beard up under the, I want the actual beard to be sitting a little lower than the mouth, than the mustache. Okay. All right. Let's make this a little deeper. Okay. Go ahead and clean some of this flat spots off. Not too worried about it because we're going to put some texturing on it. All right, now we want the little cheeks in there. Right here, we got cheeks sticking out. So we're going to go from the nose corner. Actually, let's take the tip off the nose. Cut your nose tip corners off just a little bit. Again, looking kind of even, best you can. I think on this one I kind of did a more of a rounded nose. We'll try leaving a big nose on here for this one. Alright, now we're going to take our pencil and we're going to draw in the cheeks. So depending on how you want your mustache, if you want it to come to a point right there, just start from the bottom of the nose. This one needs to come up a little bit. this side up just a little bit more. Alright, now we're going to follow that line. And then on the inside where the cheeks are, roll that down. Alright, so right where the mustache and the corner of the cheeks, put a little chip cut in there, little corner cut, triangle cut. Same thing on the other side, little triangle cut. Alright, now I can shape my cheeks. So I'm going to go from the cheeks down to the mustache. Alright, now right where the cheeks and the nose meet, let's put another triangle cut in there. So we go there, come to this side, there, and then cut that little chip out of there. Okay, same thing on this side. Right here and here and chip. Let's make this one just a little deeper. Alright, we're almost there. Let's take a little bit of the hard edges off the cheek and cut the eye just a little deeper up in these corners. Just helps us get a little more rounded cheeks. Excuse me. Alright. Now I guess we can start rounding the nose a little bit, getting the shape we want for the nose. So take that nose flat, back just a little bit. Alright, and then roll that tip over just a little bit. That's what we got so far, guys. Alright, let's make this mouth a little deeper. Roll off these edges. What a crazy year it's been. You believe it's almost Christmas. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We did. Had our family together. Still got some restrictions in some of our areas. Alright. So now I'm gonna use my lion's knife for the rounding, as I can just do. It's got the curved edge on it, so it kind of works really good for rounding things down. Alright, let's get this hat rounded a little bit. Finish it up, and we'll throw some details on it. Just go ahead and take all your hard edges off. Kind of roll that back a little bit towards the back of your hat. Just try to want to get it so it don't look square. You just want to have it so you can't tell that it's carved from a square piece of wood. And if you want the mustache to look a little higher, just come up underneath right here, all the way around it. I can cut a triangle cut right there in that corner. Just be careful, because when you start doing your detail, you don't want that to chip off on you. Simple Santa. Like I said, you might want a smaller mustache. You might want to just come around right here. If you want to come around right here and have a smaller mustache, you can do that. But starting with just them simple little measurements that we did in the beginning still gives you a lot of flexibility. Just going around taking these hard edges off. And some with the flat spots. Got that up under there just a little bit more. Okay. Let's see, we got one more thing to do. Right here where our cape is, we want to, let's see, first let's fix this little corner a little bit. And we want to fix our beard. Like as you can see right here, it just kind of blends into the back. So let's separate those two between the cape and the beard. Just a little stop cut right there. And then we'll round the beard off just a little bit, just to get them pencil marks off. But most of it's going to go away when we put the beard texture in there. Just look your piece over a lot, guys, when you're learning. I mean, for me, that was one of the hardest things, was to get everything looking equal and the same. And that means you just got to keep keep looking it over. It doesn't always have to look perfect just because it's not perfect. Don't mean it's still not a good carving. But in general, you kind of want your cheeks to be the same, your beard sides to be the same. Okay, there we are, guys. Let's do right here where the beard and the cape is. Let's cut a little stop cut right there, just to make that cape stick out a little bit. And make it look like it's going up under his beard. And I can put a little triangle cut right there. Same thing on the other side. Just fix his beard a little bit. Take a little bit of that hard edge back off of there. Separate the cape. There we go. Little triangle cut right there where the beard and the cape come together. Alright, let's get our little V-tools. If you haven't picked up a set of these little flex cut V-tools, these things are great for all your little detail work, putting in your different textures and stuff. Alright, so I'm using a little tiny dude. And I'm just, let me get these pencil lines off first. You want to get your pencil lines off because they will show up if you're not careful. Make sure you get your pencil lines off. Alright, so we're going to use a bigger one for the beard. And go around your edges first. And this helps give it that three-dimensional look. just be random. No two beards ever look the same, I can tell you that. One thing it does help is to make sure that you're going the direction that you want your beard to look like. So see, he's kind of coming out this way on this side, and that gives it flow. And when you come up to the edges of your, say your mustache, for instance, be careful that you don't chip into your mustache. When I get to there, I can just take my knife and come in here. That and my brush will take most of those little fuzzies off of there. Trying to keep it in front of the camera for you. Just want to thank everybody that subscribed to the channel. On my last video about rough outs, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I picked up a bunch of subscribers, and I asked for everybody to help me get to 100 subscribers, and you guys did. So I really, really appreciate that. Of course, obviously now I want to get more subscribers, so I have a new goal. But really, I'm really shooting for new subscribers. I want new carvers, because mostly all I'm doing right now is all beginner videos. And some people want to see me carve one of the cowboys, and I will, but it does take so much time that it'll be some long videos, at least for me anyway. But I will do a cowboy, but I really want to focus this channel on a lot of little projects that beginner carvers can do that'll help their skills. And just doing little things like these, they're quick and easy, and you can do them with minimal expense in wood. Most of the time, just little scraps of wood works, little pieces. So that's really what I've been focused on, is just little fun. Oh, almost got myself there. Little fun carvings that are quick and easy, if you're just learning to carve. Little quick carves that you can develop your skills. Develop your skills for doing the cowboys, because all these little techniques are really what help you get better to do something like a cowboy. Okay, so we'll brush all that off in a second. Alright, so on the mustache, I'm going to use a little tiny micro V. Just little chips coming out. Because if I go hogging in there with a big V, I'm surely going to chunk off a lot of my mustache. And then I'll end up having to cut everything deeper again and redo it. So for this particular little guy, I'm using a little tiny V on this one for the mustache. Just so I don't chip one off. Chip off the corner of my mustache or piece of the edge. And really, I kind of like smaller details. And lots of them. It's just my thoughts. So it don't take much to hog off a piece of wood. Important piece of wood, I should say, if you're using a big V tool. You can get these flex tools. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get the kind I used. I got an Amazon affiliate account, so it would help out a little bit, but I mean, I'm not doing these videos for money, and I'm just doing it to help kind of build the carving community, because I love carving. Yeah, I like to see people get started carving. Alright guys, we're almost there. We're just gonna put some details on the hat and the ball, and we'll have this project wrapped up, ready to paint. You guys can paint on your own, I think. I used I think this was a mocha, and then a snow white, and then a permanent red. Snow white, I think all the whites were snow white. The face color was a peach, or like a mocha. You could use a peach, some kind of flesh tone. And then the rest was all red. Pretty simple carving. Pretty fun, simple little carving if you just learn it. You can see how quick we whipped that up. On the bottom, who knows, if you want to put some little feet down there, you could put some little feet down there on him. This is going to hang on the tree. You can put some buttons. Separate his cloak right here and put some buttons on there. Those are things you can do to it. You could use a round gouge and do some divots. I could put some wrinkles in it. Just put a little notch in there. Put some wrinkles. Whatever you guys like. some little wrinkles around. Come up with your own style from here. Like I said, that's a pretty common little pattern that is easy to adapt to other things that you want to do. And I'm going to try to focus some of these next videos on Christmas ornament and Christmas carving, since it is Christmas. And probably most other carvers on YouTube be doing the same thing, so little Christmas items are fun to give to people on Christmas. I usually always give some of my family Christmas carvings, and they love them. Alright, let's put some little divots on this one. So on this one, I'm going to use a little half round gouge. And we're just going to do the same thing here. Just going around. Rough this up a little bit. Now this one I used the same as the mustache and the beard. So this one I'm just make little divots. Just another way of detailing, texturing. And it really stands out once you get some paint on it or stain, whatever you like. Okay. So let me brush off the fuzzies. And let's get the ball. this down for you so you can see the details a little better. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I wet her down a little bit, and that's what we got. That's what we started with. This is what we got. It's a little different. You'll never do two of these the same, I guarantee you. You'll never do them two the same. At least I don't think. Unless you're pretty good. Really good. But that's what we got. I got a little bigger face on this one than we had on the previous one. The ball's a little different, but pretty much the same. Rolling back. So what you want to get is these little eye hooks right here. Actually, they're smaller ones, but I couldn't. I was trying to find my smaller ones, and I couldn't find any smaller ones. But you get you some of these little eye hooks. There's, like I said, there is little tinier ones, which are better. They don't show up as much. And then find your center point. Make sure I'm still in the camera. Find your center point, and then I like to put a little starter hole just to get them started. Then once you get them started, you can twist them down in there. For the hook, I just used a paper clip. I had some colored paper clips, and I thought, yep, a green paper clip will look fine. All right, that way I can bend it whatever I need if I want to make a bigger hook to hang it on a bigger branch on my tree at home. Okay. All right, so we won't paint this one because you can see this one, but there we go. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this simple little Santa ornament, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Give us a like. We'll come back with some more Christmas stuff here in the next few videos. But you know, hit that notification bell so you get notified when we put up a new video. All right. Okay, guys. Like again, thank everybody that subscribed, and thank all the new people that are subscribing. And go to the basswoodcarving.com if you want to get the patterns for to lay out the Santa. And we'll see you in the next video.